What really happened on January 6th, 2021? Was it a simple protest gone wrong? Or was it an insurrection worse than 9/11s, as some claim? Let's take a step back and remember the events of that fateful day. A swarm of people, many bearing flags and signs of support for the then President Donald Trump, descended upon the Capitol. The chaos that ensued has been widely reported and dissected. But beyond the headlines and the political posturing, there's another story unfolding. Since that day, the FBI has been relentless in its pursuit of those who were involved, even to the point where it seems to have become their main task. They've been combing through video footage, tracking down those who were there, and making arrests. Over 1,200 people have been detained so far, and that number continues to grow. And how are they doing this? Through the use of advanced technology, including facial recognition software. The message being sent is clear. If you were there, you can't hide. The full might of the Biden administration's surveillance state is being deployed to catch anyone who offended them. But that's not all. There's a particularly fascinating and indeed troubling subplot to this story. Despite their extensive efforts and technological prowess, the FBI has not been able to find any information about the person or persons who planted 2 pipe bombs outside the headquarters of the Republican and Democratic National Committees the night before the unrest. Isn't it intriguing that amidst all this fervor to track down and punish the rioters, the resolution of the pipe bomb mystery seems to have been put on the back burner? It's an inconsistency that raises questions and stokes the fires of speculation and conspiracy theories. So the message seems to be, do not gather to exercise your constitutional right of assembly, and do not complain about the regime. But is there more to this narrative? But amidst all this, there's a fascinating and troubling mystery that remains unsolved. The case of the pipe bombs planted outside the RNC and the DNC. The Federal Bureau of Investigation has its own version of the events surrounding the pipe bombs. According to them, an individual, seen on CCTV footage, approaches the area carrying a backpack. This person then alerts the Metro Police Department and the Secret Service about the presence of a pipe bomb just feet away, planted by a park bench outside the DNC. What's strikingly unusual, however, is the complete lack of concern exhibited by both the Metro PD and the Secret Service upon receiving this alarming news. Despite being informed about an explosive device within their immediate vicinity, they take their sweet time to even exit their vehicles. But that's not all. Even more bewildering is their apparent disregard for the safety of others. They allow children to cross the street, walking within feet of where the pipe bomb was allegedly planted. Not only that, but the Secret Service agent walks alongside these innocent children, seemingly unperturbed by the danger lurking nearby. Then, a few minutes later, a member of the Capitol Police approaches the bomb, snaps a picture, gives a thumbs-up sign, and leaves the scene. Shortly after, the Metro PD car and the Secret Service vehicle also depart, leaving the scene completely unattended. From reliable sources, it's known that a bomb-safe robot was brought in to defuse the bomb minutes later. This raises some unsettling questions. Why the apparent unconcern from the Secret Service and the Metro PD? Why were they not concerned for their own safety, for Vice President-elect Kamala Harris, and for the children they allowed to walk within feet of the explosive device? The lack of concern, contrasted with the need for a bomb-safe robot, paints a puzzling picture. All these facts, captured incontrovertibly in the video, are enough to spark a national scandal. But when contextualized with the history of our reporting on the pipe bombs, it gets far worse. Isn't it remarkable how unconcerned everyone appears to be? Could there be more to this than meets the eye? But this raises a multitude of questions. Why the unconcern from the Secret Service and the Metro PD? Why allow children to walk within feet of an explosive device? These unanswered questions have left us all scratching our heads, trying to make sense of this puzzling scenario. Imagine, if you will, a seemingly disinterested Secret Service and Metro PD, who, despite being alerted about a potential explosive device in the vicinity, appear to be utterly lackadaisical. One could argue that their calm demeanor might be due to professional training, but such a level of unconcern is not just perplexing, but also disconcerting. Now, juxtapose this with the fact that they needed a bomb-safe robot to defuse this alleged pipe bomb. It's like a puzzle where the pieces don't quite fit together. on one hand, we have a seemingly relaxed response to a potentially life-threatening situation, and on the other, we have the deployment of a bomb-safe robot, typically used in situations of high risk and imminent danger. What's more, is the decision to allow children to walk within feet of the park benches where the pipe bomb was planted. This, perhaps, is the most baffling aspect of the entire scenario. The safety and security of our children should always be paramount. So, why were they allowed to come so close to potential harm? These inconsistencies are not only troubling, but they also raise serious questions about the actions and reactions of the Secret Service and the Metro PD. The situation calls for a thorough investigation, and it's the duty of those in power to provide answers. The actions and reactions of the Secret Service and the Metro PD in this video alone seem to be sufficient to spark a national scandal. But the question remains, will there be one? Or will these unanswered questions continue to hang in the air, leaving us all in a state of uncertainty? But who are the Secret Service and the Metro PD really? Are they the heroes of this story, or are they part of something more sinister? Let's take a step back and examine their roles in the events of January 6th and in the aftermath. The Secret Service, a federal law enforcement agency tasked with protecting our nation's leaders, were on the scene that day. Yet, as we've discussed, their response to the pipe bombs planted near the Democratic and Republican National Committee offices raises a few eyebrows. A sense of unconcern, a lackadaisical approach that seems out of sync with the urgency of the situation. And what about the Metro PD? A local law enforcement entity entrusted with the safety of the city. They too were present during these events. Yet their role in the subsequent investigations and their response to the immediate threat posed by the pipe bombs is also shrouded in ambiguity. Why the apparent lack of urgency? Why the seemingly cavalier attitude towards a clear and present danger? These are questions that beg to be answered, but it doesn't stop there. The investigations that followed the events of January 6th have been spearheaded by these very same entities, yet 3 years on, and we're still grappling with more questions than answers. Why is there an apparent focus on the individuals who were present at the Capitol, yet a seeming lack of progress in identifying those responsible for the pipe bombs? Could it be that these entities, these supposed protectors of justice, are more involved in the narrative than they would have us believe? Are they, in fact, the heroes they present themselves to be? Or could they be part of something more sinister? It's a thought that may be uncomfortable for some, but in the pursuit of truth, it's a question that needs to be asked. We must scrutinize those who hold power, those who are entrusted with our safety. For it is in the asking of these difficult questions that we can begin to uncover the truth. It seems there are more questions than answers when it comes to the role of the Secret Service and the Metro PD in these events. But what does all of this mean for us, the citizens of this country? What can we take away from these events and their aftermath? These questions serve as a starting point for our reflection. The events surrounding the January 6th insurrection and the ongoing investigations have far-reaching implications that we, as citizens, must grapple with. The first lesson is the power of information. Information, or rather the manipulation of it, has played a significant role in shaping the narrative of the insurrection. We have seen how certain details can be highlighted, while others are conveniently forgotten or ignored. It underscores the importance of critical thinking and the need to question the information we receive, regardless of the source. This leads us to the second lesson, the importance of vigilance. Vigilance is more than just staying informed. It's about actively seeking out multiple perspectives, questioning narratives, and not taking things at face value. It's about understanding the context, the players involved, and their motivations. It's not enough to passively consume information. We must engage with it, interrogate it, and most importantly, verify it. Lastly, these events highlight the role of institutions in our society. Whether it's the FBI, the Congress, or the media, they all have a significant impact on how events are interpreted and understood. We must be aware of their influence and understand their motivations. We must hold them accountable for their actions and demand transparency in their operations. So what's our role in all of this? As citizens, we must remain vigilant. We must commit ourselves to seek out the truth, to question the narratives that are presented to us, and to hold those in power accountable. We have a responsibility to ourselves and to our fellow citizens to stay informed, to understand the issues that affect us, and to make our voices heard. In the end, it all comes down to this. Our vigilance is our greatest weapon. It is our shield against manipulation and our tool for uncovering the truth. We must use it wisely and with a sense of responsibility. Remember, your vigilance is your greatest weapon. Stay informed, stay alert, and always question everything.